I thought about you, because I know a lot of you out there are at a crossroads. A lot of you are facing huge decisions right now about where you live and how you live. This is the first video that I filmed where I have my voice back after my no good rotten cold. I'm so happy. Hey everybody, thank you so much for coming back and seeing me and DESI. I hope you had a good, happy, safe week. And today I want to talk about decorating. You want to do this? Well, I was thinking I have these big ideas and plans of how to decorate my new home that I don't have yet, but I'm house hunting, you all know that. And I have specific ideas of what I want to do. And a lot of those ideas don't come from the wonderful things I think I've done decorating in the last 20 years. But so many of the things I want to do have been inspired by my mistakes. So I want to share with you the good things that I've done in the last 2.5 years in this apartment. And I want to share with you what I think are some of the pretty dreadful mistakes that I made. But all in all, decorating is a very personal thing. But I want to share with you some of the things that I have learned that make me so calm and happy in my home. And I figure if it works for me, it might work for you too. So let's do this. The first mistake that I want to draw attention to is my choice of art. Now, you all know I love art. I love going to the thrift store. I love finding these beautiful representations of life by artists that I adore, that I can relate to. And what was happening is I was getting emotionally involved more with the artist than I was with the painting that I was bringing home. I really wasn't paying a lot of attention to the colors of the art that I was buying and also the size. So what happened is I kind of nickeled and dimed myself when it came to art. The pieces I was buying were too small and they did not have that kind of bold, vibrant color that I needed to have the room come alive. So one mistake that I never want to make again in my new home is having art that is too small, too bland, and doesn't represent a mood, and doesn't represent exactly who I am. I have some beautiful pieces of art that my husband at the time, Billy, bought me, and they do represent me. And I will keep them and cherish them forever, and I will hang them in my new home. But one thing I never ever want to do again is think small and go too small just because I am in love with the artist. One thing I have learned over the years when it comes to decorating is I have a tendency to get things a little too busy, to overwhelm the room. And what I love to do is when I look at a room, I see a grid and I want to fill in everything that makes that grid in balance. And what I didn't realize is when you have an open space on a wall, that can be part of your balance. So less is more. And as I have decorated throughout the years, I am getting better and better at choosing statement pieces. And for my new home, I keep imagining that things will not be small and congested. They will be large and bold. And hopefully I won't be large and bold. But probably from all the stress. I hope I don't put on a little bit, but mistake number 3 is my curtains. Now, I think I chose wisely. I love the curtains that I bought for this apartment, but I hung them too low. I know, call 911. When you hang your curtains too low, it takes the elegance away from the room, and it makes your room seem smaller. It makes your window seem smaller. It just doesn't work. So I love to hang my curtains as high as I possibly can, not right up to the ceiling, but pretty close. And I love the curtains to come all the way down to the floor. I like them to dust the floor. It just seems very European and very elegant, and I love it. I don't think anybody can dictate to us how we should decorate. But I will always remember going over to my mom's little apartment, and she had plastic flowers all over, and she just loved them. And every once in a while, I would say, well, Mom, maybe you should do this, or maybe you should do that. And she taught me that decorating is all about whatever makes us happy. And one of the mistakes that I have a tendency to make is I love beautiful silk faux flowers. Well, I had too many, but I loved them, but I had too many. And when I would look throughout my room and there were too many pops of color, that wasn't making me happy, so I had to make a change. So I compromised. I changed my containers, and let me show you what I mean by that. When you use a vase like a wood reed vase, anything that you're going to put in this vase as a centerpiece is going to look natural and beautiful. You can have a huge bouquet, or you can just have just a few stems of something that looks kind of natural. I mean, not artificial tulips or daffodils or anything that might look a little bit maybe too faux. Something that maybe resembles more what you would find in the wild, wildflowers. Yeah, that would make sense. I can still have my faux flowers, but I had to dial it back. It was the type of faux flowers that I was choosing. I had to be more subtle. I had to make them look more like wildflowers. And the containers that I was using to display them had to be definitely more natural, and it was very, very effective. So this is what I'm talking about. I like to use artificial flowers that look like wildflowers, and I love to put them in very rustic vases, very old rustic vases, and I think that tempers the fact that I'm using artificial flowers. One thing that I would do differently if I had it to do all over again when I was moving in is I would pay more attention to the flooring. I think I would have invested in some very beautiful rugs for my bedroom and for the living room and my dining area. One of the reasons that I didn't invest in paint or area rugs or maybe switching out my appliances, I knew in my heart that I was saving up for a little house. So I didn't want to spend money on a lovely little apartment that I knew I was not going to be in forever. So I did the best I could with what I had, with my goals in mind. And I was happy. One of the reasons I was so happy was all those little magical trips to the thrift store where I got to pick out things with you. And those are some of the things that I'm showing you in this video, the sentimental things that we picked out together. We decorated this little place all together, and I'll never forget it. With the new home, we're going to do that. We're going to do that once again, and I can't wait. We're going to have so much fun when it comes to decorating the new house that I hopefully can find very soon. If there was one word that comes to mind when I think about my decor of the new home, it would be conversational. The number one goal that I want for the new house is going to be a backyard that is kind of a magical little place to be for us, for myself privately, and for my grandchildren. And I want it to have 2 or 3 different little conversational areas. Maybe with a cherry tree, some benches, maybe some type of veranda where I could have dinner out there with my family, my friends. I know it won't happen overnight, but I have been designing the backyard of my dreams. It's the most important thing that I'm looking for. When I see that backyard, and it may be just a wreck because I know it's going to take time and patience and landscaping and help and prayers and all your input. But when I see that house that has that land in the backyard, I'm going to grab it. The other goal that I have is to decorate in a different way. And I want to do that with furniture and with art. I don't want my furniture touching any walls. I want my furniture to be very conversational. Maybe instead of a sofa, maybe I'll have a couple love seats that are facing each other, a couple very comfortable, easy chairs, nothing matching. Just everything happy and joyous and ready to sit down and have a chat. Why not? One thing that's not very important to me are things like countertops and shelving, and those things can kind of wait. The most important thing to me is that feeling that when you walk into the place, this is a place where we can talk, where we can have real conversations, where we can laugh and have some wine or some coffee or some tea. Something beautifully magical, whether you're 4 years old or 94. Those are all the things that I dream of with the new house. Ooh, wow, Hal, I love this shirt. Can I get this shirt for you?
No.
It's an LL Bean. It's brand new. It's your size. It's just gorgeous.
I wouldn't wear it.
Why?
It's plain.
What's wrong with plain?
It's yellow.
Look at it. It's your color. It's beautiful.
It's yellow and plain.
Look at how sexy you look in that shirt. It looks great on you. Or it would.
It's yellow and plain.
Yeah, pick out a shirt that you like.
I like this one.
That reminds me of a boy I sat next to in 3rd grade. He had shirts like that in 1963.
So?
Well, don't you think maybe you should get with the times?
I like this one.
That's probably one of the ugliest shirts I've... In fact, I should get that shirt for the neighbor who hates me.
But look at all the buttons.
Yeah.
And look, what the heck is this button? It's a little tiny button.
That's it. That's a bonus button. A real man would know what to do with a bonus button. Hal and I had so much fun this week. We went to the river, and even though it's March, we found some really pretty things to photograph, and then we went to about a half dozen thrift stores and almost got thrown out for being the Bickersons. And then we went to dinner, and we talked about the decisions that we make. And he said, what are you going to do someday if your son decides to relocate to Texas? What are you going to do? You're going to be all alone up there. And I thought about you, because I know a lot of you out there are at a crossroads. A lot of you are facing huge decisions right now about where you live and how you live. And decisions, as we get older, take on an amazing importance. If my son decides to relocate, well, that means that if I stayed here, right, I'd be missing my family. Or if I'm up there, I'd be missing my family. But at least I had years with my grandchildren for them to get to know me. But I plan on having a nice life up there. It's a college town. I already have friends up there. And I'm going to have my beautiful new little house, and we're going to decorate it together. So my point is, my decision is not based on one thing, and my decision is not based on one person making me happy or one situation being responsible for my happiness and my well-being. Every good, solid, wise decision I think we make has to be based on more than one thing. And one of those things has to be, what do we want for ourselves? What can we do for ourselves to keep us vibrant and young and interested? That's a college town. Who knows? Who knows the adventures that we all can have there? So I'll be very happy with my decision. But my decision is my own. It's my own responsibility to live the best life I can. And that's when I know my decision is right. every time we're faced with a monumental decision. I think there's 3 things that we have to ask ourselves. Is it good for us? Is it good for our family or the people around us? And is it something that we've always dreamed of? If you can answer yes to all 3 of those things, start packing. You're moving, and you're moving in the right direction.
Al,
Yes.
there seems to be something growing on the top of your head. You wouldn't happen to know what that is, would you?
Yeah, they're my ears. You just couldn't see them before I got the haircut.
You do realize you're never going to get a date if you wear hats like this.
Women love things like this.
All right, I stand corrected.
Oh, DESI boy, the pipes are calling from band to band.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. I loved every minute of it. And if you get time down below, could you share maybe something that makes your house a special place? Something that makes it home to you? Please have yourself a happy, wonderful, safe, brand new week. And when you're done with your week, come back and see me and DESI, okay? All right, it's a deal. We'll be here.